anxious players in World of Warcraft. I think this game attracts a lot of people who are neurotic, meaning they think about themselves a lot and they have negative emotions about these thoughts. Not in a selfish way, not oh, I didn't get the loot, but more like they have negative ideas about themselves. Some of this comes from fear of consequences. When I first started playing the game again, I was on a private server and I had no negative emotions about my gameplay. It appeared unimportant to me at the time because I just wanted to be casual and get really stoned while I played. And as I got deeper into the game, I had a period where I was really worried about my DPS or thread and doing my absolute best every moment in raid. Now I'm back to thinking my gameplay is good enough and there are minor problems with it, but they're just not as important as figuring out how to nail running a guild and a raid group better. And so if I have bad thoughts, it's never about my parse or anything like that. And this has led me to having some personal rules for teaching and leading people in raid groups that I never break. It mostly has to do with my beliefs about how anxieties impact people's ability to perform. But also a lot of it is just I don't like making people feel bad. But I do think it helps with the rating too. And here they are, like, never understate the potential difficulty of doing something strange in raid. Things like fancy hunter pulls. Think about ones where you need to thread the needle. They're going to pull the core hound between two lava packs. Messing this up means you get extra packs. They could wipe your raid, but also you're going to end up doing more trash then, which invalidates the whole point of doing the fancy pull. Both of these are bad for clear times, right? Another example would be priests using mind control on Vesuvius. When they mess up the mind control on Vesuvius, someone's going to die and lose hours of pre-raid prep. It's going to happen. Your raid needs an incredibly large amount of DPS to double tank Vesuvius and basically eliminate the chance for heartbeat RNG. Your raid probably won't ever have that much DPS, and maybe least important, tank positioning. Having mobs be as close to each other as possible while also controlling the ability usage of the mob. You could think facing lava elementals away from raid is a great example. When you want people to do these tasks, you want them to take it very seriously, but these guys in your raid taking their job seriously leaves them open to freaking out about their performance. These are some rules I have for myself when I get people to learn to do these one-off support tasks. Explain what they should do when they mess up. For lava packs, the lava elementals do a frontal cone AoE stun. It does about 1500 damage over the duration of the stun, and I tell new tanks that they need to prioritize having at least one of them under control at all times, because if they miss one of the two mobs and the raid takes 1500 damage, it won't contribute to anyone dying. As long as the big fire Ellie, which does a fire breath that hits around 3k, as long as that mob is handled, everyone will be fine, because 1500 from you missing one of your mobs plus 3000 on somebody from them getting fire blossomed from the tiny fire Ellie. The tiny fire Ellie in those packs, it does 3000 damage to a random person every like 2 seconds. Well, that's 4500 in total. So never risk hitting the whole raid twice to try to prevent hitting the whole raid once, because you probably will kill somebody if you do that. Most people feel super comfortable picking up one mob and facing it away, but they need to understand what the real objective is, because one day they're going to get a parry or a resist or just fuck up, and they're going to have one of the mobs run away from them, and you want to stomp out this reaction that they're going to have where I look stupid, I'm going to chase that mob. You want them to just be like, lost a mob, sorry guys, and then people get stunned for 6 seconds. Another example is never critiquing people in the moment when they make a big mistake. Pull hunters, for example, they need to be at ease with the idea that one day when they're trying to speed your raid group up, they're going to fuck up and they're going to kill everybody and it's going to be a bad time. This should be super rare, but you can't have them being scared while they're pulling. I've never said shit to a pull hunter mid-pull. If someone could try their hardest and feel zen, I think that'd be for the best. But I also don't really think that exists. Great performers feel emotionally invested in outcomes almost always, and I guess that's great because it mostly works. I'm personally worried about people using their brain power worrying about what I think about their performance in raid or anything other than the actual task at hand for them. Until recently, I've never had a raid group where everyone cared about the team as a whole, and I mean like literally everyone. where everybody talks in Discord and there's no drama outside of raid. But I've played with plenty of great people even before this current guild. Over the years, I've had lots of times that right after raid, someone would ask me some question about a super tiny detail of their gameplay, and in a way that makes me think that they're worried about what I think about them. For example, sorry I pulled threat on X right before Gar, I targeted the wrong mob, and then a lot of random extraneous details after that. The random details making me think they're overly concerned about this thing they messed up. I used to dance around these thoughts I had about other people's anxieties in my raids, but lately I've done something else. I ask them what they believe I might think, and then we start talking about my objectives. I have this goal of them understanding me and what I'm after, so they know I wouldn't care about their small mistake, and they understand why I think it's microscopic and really unimportant in the greater view of the raid group. And I think this makes them play better, but even if it doesn't, I'm fine with it because it's really fun to do, and I'm going to keep on doing it because of that. And it has been extremely fulfilling getting to learn what every person I play with is after in the game, and also in their personal lives. This is a similar thing, just really trying to get to know people. For example, this is odd. The age distribution in my guild is extremely atypical for classic WoW. Although my viewer stats are a normal distribution centered around the age of 32, my guild is not. There are an basically equal spread of all ages from 20 to 40. And what else is kind of funny is there's a lot of trends of what people are after based on their age. Most of the guys who are around 22, 23, they're concerned about doing well in game. They feel like they have something to prove, and they also feel like they have something to prove in real life. Mostly with regards to like their earning potential, nearly all of them seem like this. And then the people who are closer to 30, at least the ones who don't have kids, a lot of them, they've already figured out how to earn money. And what they're kind of focused on right now is figuring out how to get a job or into a business that makes them feel more fulfilled. They already know how to earn money, but they want to do it on their own terms. And then there's like the 35 to 40 age group, or I could just say the dads, because there's some people who are like 29 or 30 and also have kids, and most of them are similar in this way too. And they're, for example, they want to be great teammates. They don't find a lot of importance in being the top DPS player. Not to say they're lazy, but for example, they'd be really down with doing off-tanking on a couple trash packs, which would like totally fuck their DPS up. And other than that in the game, their real lives, they're focused on their kids. And they're at peace with how they earn money. They don't need a particular job to feel fulfilled. Maybe some of them are thinking about how they're going to save for retirement, but not all of them. But probably half of them also think about that. It's funny because I remember being very young and feeling like video games were one of the only places I could express a high level of competence at anything in my life. It's not like very young people normally have skills that are traditionally seen as valuable, or even valuable by literally any metric, honestly. Most super young people are kind of useless, and they're trying to become useful. And this isn't shit talk. You just aren't born with skills. I used to think getting really good at a game would solve my problems, or making like $200K a year would, and those didn't work, but at least money lets you solve money problems. Now I'm focused on finding a way to earn cash doing stuff I love. I wonder if I just won't care about that in a few years, because the things that I see the young guys in my group care about, I cared about the exact same stuff when I was their age. And right now it feels like I care about the way I earn money forever, but people's feelings are fucking stupid all the time, mine included. Hell, I used to think getting global elite in CSGO would make me feel good, but who cares about ladder rankings in CSGO, and who gives a fuck how good you are at a shooting game if you're not good enough to get like paid or something? As far as my in-game goals, I'm not positive what I'm after at this point, at least long term. I want to get 2 or 3 raid groups filled with people I really love being around. Definitely want to pull that off, and that seems obviously valuable. But that's only gonna take about another week to get the second one going. And probably another 2 months to get a third one if I end up doing that. My other current goal is getting our MC clear times to be quicker. We have a 29-minute run right now, which is great, but it's not super exceptional. And if it can be more like 25 minutes, then people only need to get rend every other week. I think we can pretty easily take another 5 minutes off because we do a lot of goofy stuff right now, like having myself pull as a warrior. So there's a lot of low-hanging fruit available there. But what is there to do other than that? What about when it gets difficult for us to keep improving as a raid group? I'm not sure how I'll feel at that point. The raid is a central part of the whole guild's identity, but it is, in reality, only about a quarter of the time, at most, that any of us really spend together on a weekly basis. So it already holds a rather irrationally large amount of my attention and everybody else's. Maybe one positive thing about the game being accelerated this time around is we just don't get that long to get better and accomplish our goals. Man, I hate saying that. I feel like having just a year of Classic is such a crime. Lots of people I've met both inside and outside my guild, they feel like they want to do this round of Fresh the right way. They just didn't spend their time the correct way in 2019. And they kind of wish they did it differently. I made a lot of great friends in the 2019 launch, probably around 5 that were truly worth all the effort. And then I met around another 5 in a much shorter time in Classic era, because I got better at finding out who I want to spend my time with. And it's not like we all talk to each other all the time, but I know these people well enough that we lend each other money to help make rent if something crazy happened. That's probably the level of trust. So I say we know each other very, very well. And having the game last longer would make meeting more people like this easier. And this go around, I want to do that, but on a much larger scale. I don't want to spend nearly 6 years and meet 10 people worth knowing. I want to spend 2 years and meet like 50 or 100. Right now, everything's going to plan, and it's so much easier than it was in 2019 too. I'm very blessed to have, God, I feel so weird to say, blessed to have this channel, and it makes it so easy to run into like-minded people. But I'm worried that going into TBC so soon is going to make me lose some friends. You have to reshuffle raid groups. People need to level again. The sacrifices that must be put into an individual's characters, they're diminished, the value you get out of the sacrifice. And maybe Blizzard's going to split the community even by releasing a popular era transfer option along with a TBC Fresh at the same time. And I'm not trying to say that era plus TBC at the same time is bad, or that doing this Fresh and hardcore at the same time as another example is bad, but this is on my mind. And it will split people's friend groups up when it happens. Or make people run 2 groups. Man, that'd be rather insane. At least I think it would be. Maybe I'd just run 2 groups. I'm not sure how many viewers played Era right before Fresh got announced. The Era guild I was in went from thriving to kind of fucked instantaneously upon the Fresh launch announcement. And they had to rebuild a huge portion of their roster for Fresh. Some people, they just wanted to do Era. Others, they wanted to stop the game and take a short break before Fresh, and they just never returned. It was chaotic, a total pain in the ass. I'm still happy the Fresh came out, but these problems are reality. And with how the average gamer is, I just can't see why they increased the game's pacing. Most people who play the game only get attached to their character. They don't get attached to any of the people they play with. They play rather solo. They join a guild, but they don't really meet anyone. Getting gear is the entire gameplay loop for these people, these fucking malformed freaks. I'm only slightly kidding. How does anyone play the game that way? Much less for the hundreds of hours it takes for you to actually end up in a raid. These loner NPC fucks cannot be loving the increased pacing. What are you going to do? take 2 months getting to level 60. God knows how long to get the Anya tune done. And these are the guys. They're going to try to bait your ass into doing the gauntlet when it's supposed to be an arena run. No, we're not doing your Anya tune. Go make some friends, you fucking loser. Go ask them. I don't know you. We're here to kill Argylmech and stuff. But seriously, the game is really casual and friendly right now, but it has this illusion of being casual friendly because MC and BWL are trivial to accomplish. But it's going to get way worse when AQ and Nax come out. I hope we get some Riot of the Dads on Reddit, and then they extend how long this shit lasts. Anyways, if you want to avoid wasting your time playing with a bunch of idiots that you won't remember the names of in 4 years, hit me up in Discord. These are the raid times, 9 p.m. Eastern Wednesday and 2 p.m. Eastern Saturday. We are on Night Slayer, NA PvP. Add me to friends on Discord. It's JakeFromTree. We only really got space for priests, pallies, and warriors, but maybe we can figure something out if you are a dumbass class. God, the fucking rogue players. Peace, guys. Thanks for watching.